A very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Sani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Central Bank urges the general public to be more vigilant when they engage in online transactions. Inflation in December 2020 records a decrease of 1.03% compared to the previous month. News in detail. Central Bank warns that online scams offering to lend money at low rates or give high interest are taking personal details and information stored in their phones through the application process to access their bank accounts. Issuing a statement to the media yesterday, CBSL instructed to take precautions with online transactions as they have received financial frauds and scams information regarding several types of financial frauds and scams being operated through social media, internet-based applications and mobile payment applications. The central bank strongly advises the public to be watchful about these frauds and scams and not to share any confidential information, especially account usernames, passwords, PINs, OTPs or other information required for account verification with anyone and not to give consent to money lenders to access information stored in the phone. The central bank also requests the public to obtain real-time notification services such as SMS alerts from their banks or non-bank financial institutions so that they would become aware of any fraudulent activity that takes place using their accounts instantly. Accordingly, Central Bank advises the general public to exercise due diligence and care to avoid becoming victims of the scams operating in the guise of money lending businesses. Country's finance regulator, Central Bank, further asks citizens to obtain full information of the financial transaction and the lending party before entering into an agreement. They also advise the general public to conduct financial transactions with only the regulated or authorized entities. Further, they ask the people to avoid entering into agreements that is difficult to fully understand the implications of the contents of the terms and conditions. The Department of Census and Statistics yesterday reported that country's nationwide inflation in December 2020 marked a decrease of 1.03% compared to the previous month of the same year. Accordingly, the inflation in December 2020 decreased to 4.6% from 5.2% recorded in November 2020. Central Bank in its report says that food inflation also decreased to 7.5% in December 2020 from 9.4% in November 2020, whereas non-food inflation increased to 2.2% in December 2020 from 1.7% in November 2020. The change in the NCPI measured on an annual average basis decreased marginally to 6.2% in December 2020 from 6.3% in November 2020. Monthly change of NCPI recorded at 1.03% in December 2020, mainly due to increases observed in prices of items in food category. Moreover, monthly changes of food and non-food categories recorded at 1.02% and 0.01% respectively in December 2020. Accordingly, within the food category, increases were observed mainly in the prices of coconut, vegetables, potato, rice and red onion during December 2020. Further, year-on-year core inflation increased to 4.7% in December 2020 from 4.5% in November 2020, while annual average core inflation decreased marginally to 4.1% in December 2020 from 4.2% in November 2020. Capital Markets and State Enterprise Reform State Minister Ajit Niwad Cabral suggests that abnormality should be used strategically in our lifestyles and same techniques will also be used for the upliftment of country's economy. State Minister said so addressing the 41st National Conference of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, which was held in Colombo this Monday.
Now, what is this abnormality that we are talking about? The COVID pandemic. I think, first of all, it was a health issue. We had to come to grips with the health side of the pandemic, which was sometimes very difficult for us to absorb. Then we found that with it comes the economic crisis. There was a massive economic factor which has its grips on a pandemic thereafter. Then the social part. We are still grappling with some social issues which have been thrust upon us by the pandemic. Then the way we live, the way we work, the way we play. I was watching the cricket match, Sri Lanka versus England, a couple of days ago. And then you saw a match without crowds. You saw the teams without doing high fives. Sometimes they are edging with the elbow. So new way. Again, the way we work, play and study, learn, all those things changed.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Chairman to the Tourism Advisory Committee, Hiran Kure, said tourism virtually came to a standstill, not with the COVID-19 pandemic, but with the Easter Sunday attacks in April 2019. Addressing an event in Colombo on Thursday to officially announce the reopening of Colombo shores to the tourists again, Jet-Wing Symphony Chairman Kure said that Sri Lanka was fully ahead in tourism when the world is still stumbling.
For people not giving up on tourism, actually our troubles didn't start last year. It started in 2019 with the Easter bombings. Tourism virtually came to a standstill. And the significant difference then was, while we were hit, the rest of the world was doing well. So the rest of the world supported us. All the airlines supported us. All the other nations, all the international media supported us. So we were, despite not doing any promotions during that time, still we were able to recover adequately because of the international support we got. But today it's the other way around. I think Sri Lanka is doing very, very well compared to the rest of the world. If you read some of the newspapers in the UK, in America and so on, it's a complete mess. Our country has managed this very well.
Economic analyst Dimantha Matthews said that the stock market was experiencing a significant retail interest during last 5 days. The head of research of First Capital Holdings also added that stocks closed up 3.13% on January 21st, reaching an all-time high of 8,131.25 points at Haley's Group units sold after share splits were announced, topping a previous high of 7,922.66 points reached on January 16, 2021.
The market is going through a significant bull run at the moment, with the index rising 200 to 300 points a day. At the moment, the market is closing in on 8,500 levels, and with that, what we are seeing is continuous buying interest constantly coming into the market. So with this, turnover levels have significantly increased now throughout this week. We are seeing turnover levels exceeding 10 billion rupees except on the 20th of January. So very high levels of turnover. If you take from 1 year ago, we are seeing turnover levels more than 10 times. So with this, you can see that the retail interest has significantly increased in the market, and with this retail dominance, overall turnovers have significantly increased. Number of transactions are now over 50,000 per day. So with this, we are experiencing a major positive sentiment among investors at the moment.
Economic analyst Dimantha Matthews also provided a forecast for the coming week and said that the market will remain positive. He also added that in addition to that, lots of cash will be coming into the market, but at lower rates.
Looking at the upcoming week, we feel the bullish sentiment in the market is likely to continue for yet another week, with the extremely low interest rate that is there in the market and the constant interest of the retail investors. We are experiencing a retail dominated market where lots of cash is coming into the market with the lower interest rate environment. So we are expecting the market to remain positive, and also retail favorite counters to be dominant in the market. So also we are expecting a lot of results of companies to come, and most of the manufacturing, banking sector related companies are expected to have very good profitability levels, and this is likely to again drive the market in the upcoming week as well. So turnover levels are likely to remain high with this upward momentum in the market. However, on the foreign front, it is likely to have a continuous selling pressure in the market, as we've seen over the last couple of years.
We'll be back with stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 332.18 points to close at 8,463.43, and the S&P SL 20 gained 115.62 points to close at 3,312.35. The turnover was 12.8 billion rupees and over 590 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all the news for today. See you on Sunday with Biz Roundup. Until then, take care. Good night.